If you want to become a god in ranked and never lose a fight again, then you're in the right place. Because I am one of the top 30 ranked players in NA, and today I'm going to break down some of my best fights against other Unreal players to show all of you how to become a god at fighting. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. Let's try and get 500 likes on this video. But now on to the first fight. Now the first fight we're going to go over today against an Unreal player is going to show all of you how to deal with third parties even against an Unreal player. So to start out this first fight, I see a player in front of me driving a car. Obviously I'm going to spray it, right? After I break it, I'm then going to get a little bit of damage on the player. But as I'm getting damage, notice how there is a player up here in the top right in a car. Now when I throw my teleporter, obviously I know this player is here. So I know if I can kill this player right now, I instantly have to look at the other player instead of going for the loot. Notice how I double it in, get the kill, right? Obviously there's loot down there, right? But the third party is about to show up. So instead, I'm going to go and face the third party to make sure he can't get the jump on me. And as you can see, he teleports above my head, but I react fast enough and I'm able to block him. When I block him, I stick myself in a cone. I edit out to my right. I see the player in front of me, so I place a ramp. And then I know he has to move out left, right? So I'm going to jump up and pre-piece that area so that if he walks in, I can double edit and then crack the player. When I crack him, I notice he's moving out to his right, so I try and pre-piece that area. But since I blocked that side, he can only go out to his left. So he changes direction and he boxes up over here. So I place a cone on his roof and then I'm going to shoot my shotgun because of the structure damage. Then just spray the floor and then replace it with a cone. And then I can just pump this player and pick up a simple kill. But I was only able to get the jump on this Unreal player because I wasn't greedy for the loot and I played super smart. So make sure to do things like this. Moving on now, let's talk about the next Unreal player we're going to fight, where I'll show all of you how to piece control your opponent. In this fight, I see a player in front of me and he's going to start ramping towards me. Now, since this player is now going to push me, I know he has the katana, so I know he's probably going to use it. He then flies up above me, so I pump him and get a little bit of damage. He does take high ground though, so now I have to take high ground back, right? So I'm going to edit out to my right, place a ramp, place a cone, place a floor, and then I'm going to side jump while holding up walls above me to high wall. That blocks the player from being able to see me or piece me up or anything like that. I can then catch myself on the floor, edit up, and then that sets me up perfectly for a triple edit. And then I have a cone on this player, but I'm going to edit, but I'm not going to pull out my pickaxe. If I pull out my pickaxe, he sees that as a sign to shoot me, and then I'm in a 50-50. We don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold out my pump. After I do this, the player tries to edit on me. I accidentally get hit off my cone and I fall down. When I fall down, this cone's mine, right? So when he walks onto it, I shoot it with my shotgun, spray it a little bit, and then just drop him down. When I drop him down, he boxes up, but I notice there's no cone in his box right now. So I'm going to place a cone above him and then edit it, and then I'm going to swing once while holding a ramp. This will then put the ramp in the player's box. He's now forced to make a decision and he has to leave. So I'm going to pre-piece the box to the left in hopes that he goes there, and what do you know, he does. I miss my shot though because I'm garbage, but I'm able to finish him off with the AR, AO. But I was only able to beat this Unreal player because I noticed he didn't have a cone in his box. So if you want to win fights, think about using techniques like this. Now that we've covered some piece control techniques, let's talk about how to box fight against an Unreal player. In this fight right here, I'm chasing a player down that I know is weak, and I'm going to get shot in my back. Now when I get shot in my back, notice how I create two boxes of space instead of one. This is because when the player approaches this wall, if I try and pre-fire, I can then back up and play from the second box. When the player's on this wall now, he's going to crouch behind my cone, so I edit a peanut butter, and then I jump and try and do some damage. But this player's able to crack me, so I'm then going to back up and hold my wall. When I do this, I know I have to do counter damage to make sure he doesn't have any confidence. So when he swings onto my wall, I'm going to pre-fire him to crack him. After I crack him, I then flip up the cone in front of me, reset it to see if the player is going to make any movements. And then when I see the player reloading, I know he's going to have delay before he can shoot me. I can then edit and pick up a simple kill, and then I was able to get this mythic AR. But the simple way that I won this fight is just because I created two boxes of space, so make sure to do things like this to fight Unreal players. Moving on from piece control, let's talk about some simple techniques to end fights quickly against Unreal players. So in this next fight here, I see a player all the way at Brutal Boxcars from the hill, and I obviously could spray right now, but I'm going to be patient and I'm going to wait until I can get a really big hit of opening damage. I see him go for a chest, so I'm just going to spray him right when he goes for the chest, and I've obviously now lasered him. Now after I teleport on this player, I'm going to ramp up, and I notice right here, there's no back wall on his box because I can see through this metal wall. I then realized that's the side of the box I should go for. So I double edit on that side, and then I hold out a wall while 180ing. I then edit and shoot and miss because I'm garbage, but I reset the wall. After I reset the wall, I then edit out left and then place a cone in his box because he swings right. After I do that, I reset the wall and then chill and try and bait the player out. So I'm going to hit a wall reset on him to bait his shot, but then he's smart enough to get out of the box. When he gets out of the box, he's then going to go create some space, but he pulls out his mask. I can hear him pull it out, so I know he's trying to run away. So I'm going to approach the left side of this player's box. When I do this, he edits on me, I trade, I pump him. But when I pump him, notice how I hold out a ramp right after. This is a great habit to have no matter what, because if you get the ramp in there, all you have to do is steal the wall, and then you can edit on the player and then pick up a simple kill. So make sure, if you want to end fights really quickly, do this. Now, another thing that you need to understand when fighting against good players is that you need to base your playstyle around your loadout. So let's say in this fight here, for example, I have a mythic AR, and I know that means I have a better spray gun than my opponent. So when I'm fighting this player, for example, and I make a 2x1 to create some space, I'm just going to be patient and wait for the player to drop onto my wall. We then trade damage, and the player is going to start to spray at me. When he starts to spray at me, I'm going to go for this bloom battle because I know I have a better AR than him, and you'll see that I won this bloom battle just because I did so. So you always need to base your playstyle around your guns. Now, every fight in ranked will be different, but one way you can stay consistent and win fights is by reading your opponent's body language. In this fight right here, I'm on high ground and I see a player below me. Obviously, I'm going to go try and push him. Now, as I'm pushing this player, I break through and I'm able to crack him. When I crack him, I realize he's starting to backpedal. So I know he's going to want to move into this space right here. So instead of shooting him anymore, I'm going to place a floor in front of me to pre-piece that area. And then I can edit and then pump the player and pick up a simple kill. But I was only able to do so because I read his movements and I understood where he was going to be. Now that we've covered some simple fighting techniques, let's show all of you how to fight against confident players. So in this fight, I shoot the player's car in front of me to get his attention, and then he turns around. Obviously, he wants to fight, and I know this player is pretty confident because he turns around to fight me. When the player gets out of the car, I pump him, hold the wall in front of me to make sure he can't shoot back at me. See how the pellets are now blocked? I then pull out my katana and try and jump in the air to full piece this player. When I realize he's going out left, I try and box that area, but I fail because I'm a bot and he gets out. When he gets out, I try and steal the wall, and then he gets out of that box. So I know he's going to move into this box right here. So I pre-piece that area and I try and 180, but he reads it and he edits on me and he pumps me. When he pumps me, right now I'm at about 100 HP. So I'm going to flip up the cone in front of me, and then I'm going to edit out to my left and then set up a peanut butter peak. After I set up this peanut butter peak, the other player is going to become super aggressive, and he's literally just going to try and jump in. At this point, I don't really have the best peak, and I jump and we trade. When we trade, I'm now at 3 HP. If I do any sort of dumb movement here, I die. So I'm going to edit a right window, and then I'm going to hold out my shotgun on the player. This will force him to swing on the peak or shoot the wall. I can then wait for him to shoot the wall, pump him, and then pick up a simple kill. But I was only able to do this because I was calm in the scenario that I was given, even though I was literally on 1 HP. So make sure to do things like this. Now, all of the tips in this video have been about winning fights, but now we're going to show all of you how you can win games against unreal players even if you're a bot. In this simple endgame right here, I see a player on low ground that I was fighting earlier, and I know he has the invis coin. So I know out of all the players in this lobby, he's the most stacked. So I want to grief him so that the rest of my game is easier. So when I see him on low ground, I'm obviously going to spray him and do as much damage and just grief him as much as possible. When he runs out right over the hill, I'm going to get to the front of zone and then box up and only focus this player. This way, I grief him and I make him as uncomfortable as possible. And as you can see, I was able to spray him in the back while he was fighting, and I was able to kill him. Now, since I easily kill this player early on, I won't have to worry about him later, and I can go on to W key the rest of the lobby and pick myself up a free win. So if you want to win games consistently, grief the best player or the most stacked player in your lobby. Now, that is the end of this video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see how to win every rank game, go check this video out. But with that, I'm out. Peace.